All right, the Chiefs just beat the Broncos for the 16th time in a row at Arrowhead on Thursday Night Football, and while the offense played well at times, they really struggled in the red zone, which was the biggest issue of the night by far. On top of that, one of their key receivers sustained an injury that will sideline him at least for 3 weeks, maybe more. But thankfully, Kansas City's defense played a nearly perfect game, and Harrison Butker scored 13 of the team's 19 points on the night to allow KC to walk away with the W. So let's talk about it. But first, how about those? First, I want to shout out today's sponsor, Chiefs Bids, who I partnered back up with to give away this signed HBTC Isaiah Pacheco helmet, but more on that in a bit because we got to get right into this game against the Broncos. On the opening drive, Denver showed an effective run game with the Chiefs defense giving up some decent gains. And then on 3rd and 7, Russell snaked his way out of a sack, making something out of almost nothing. However, his luck ran out on 4th down when Justin Reid said, "No, sir," and sacked that man like Elon Musk did to most of his employees at Twitter. Travis Kelce then caught this pass and proceeded to pitch it to Noah Gray, who took it up the right sideline for a 1st down. And no, that was not a planned play.
That's something we do every day in practice. So, it didn't surprise me. That was on his own. Yeah.
I mean, I know he's definitely not supposed to pitch the ball. That's the one I know for sure.
Well, I'm glad the pitch worked because if not, Big Red would have been big mad. Anyway, the Chiefs drove down the field, but Mike Purcell batted the ball down on 3rd down, and Butker kicked his first of 4 field goals on the night. A couple plays later, Russell Wilson threw this perfect pass to Nick Bolton, who made a nice grab and gave the ball back to Mahomes and company, who quickly connected with Kelce on a huge 40-yard play, as Kelce was somehow left wide open again. However, Mahomes felt bad, I think, for Russell throwing that INT and gave the ball right back to Denver via an INT of his own that he was actually trying to throw away on 3rd and 8, but the ball got tipped as he threw, and thankfully, Rashee Rice made an incredible tackle that saved quite possibly a very big return. It also helps that the Chiefs defense is the real deal, so the Broncos ended up punting again after trying a fullback dive with Mike Burton on 3rd and 1. It's a fantastic play there made by Malik Herring, but really, Denver, did you not watch Mike Burton's tape when he was here in KC trying that? I guess not, and for that, I am glad. From here, we got to talk about this wild 4th and 2 fiasco, Harrison Butker showing why he's one of the best in the business, and then look at a very unfortunate injury from one of the Chiefs' most productive receivers. But first, I want to let you know that after giving away several signed Chiefs items already, I've partnered back up with Chiefs Bids to give away this full-size helmet signed by Isaiah Pacheco himself. He even put the letters HBTC on there as a custom nod to the community, which is freaking awesome. And I will tell you how you can potentially win this in a moment, but in case you didn't know, Chiefs Bids is accessible through the official Chiefs app. Just click more, then Bids, and you will then see all kinds of signed Chiefs memorabilia that's updated regularly to be auctioned off, featuring former and current players, as well as game-worn items that you can bid on. So make sure to check out the app. And then as far as the giveaway details are concerned, you'll need to head over to the Chiefs Bids private Facebook group. Link is in the description. Join the group and wait for approval if you haven't already. Then comment HBT Chiefs on their featured giveaway post that you'll find pinned to the top of the group right here in the featured section. And that's all you got to do. From there, I'll be announcing the winner this Sunday, October 15th, using a random comment picker, and you'll know if you win because I will reply to your comment on that post. So make sure to head on over to Chiefs Bids private Facebook group as soon as you're done watching this video and comment HBT Chiefs on the featured post for your chance to win this signed HBTC Pacheco helmet. All right, back to the game. On the next drive, Jawaan Taylor got flagged, surprise, surprise, for holding, which backed the Chiefs up, but no problem because on 3rd and 8, with Mahomes scrambling to extend the play, he just looks around for Travis Kelce, who finds a soft spot, and just like that, the chains are moved. And once again, the Chiefs got into the red zone with frustrating results. They couldn't convert on 3rd and 2 here, and instead of going for it on 4th down with Mahomes and the offense out there, Andy decided instead to take the ball out of Patrick's hands and run a fake field goal turned tight end sneak with Noah Gray. Andy said after the game they got to take care of business in the red zone. You can't stall down there, you can't have penalties, you can't have fake field goals, saying, quote, "We probably wanted to have that one back. I shouldn't have called that. It was 2 yards right there, probably a bit too far." And yeah, I agree. The Chiefs can't get the play to work on 3rd and 1, so not sure why it would magically start working on 4th and 2. And so, drive number 3 for KC gets all 3 drives into the red zone, and they wind up with a whopping total of 3 points. Not ideal, but no problem because Denver's offense was god-awful in this game, going 3 and out after the water polo champion George Karlaftis got his hand on the ball, forcing it to sail over the head of the intended target. And after those 3 drives failed to convert in the red zone, the Chiefs matriculated the ball down the field thanks to this great catch by Kelce, a fantastic run by Pacheco up the right side, and yet another incredible catch by Kelce to get them into the red zone for the 4th time. And man, this play is fire. Kelce cannot be stopped. You have PS2, Denver's best corner, on him in coverage, plus he's also double teamed by a linebacker, but it doesn't matter. This throw from Mahomes is perfect. The catch is made and boom, just like that, another first down. KC soon faced another 3rd and goal though, and I'm just like, please score a touchdown for the love of anything and everything that is good. And they actually made it happen for the first and sadly also the last time of the night via this 3-yard pass to Kadarius Toney, making that 10-0 with 3 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. The water polo champion returned on this play, batting yet another pass down, and then Drew Tranquil is able to get home to Russell Wilson on 3rd and 2, forcing yet another punt with 2 minutes to go in the half. The Chiefs quickly punted the ball right back, but the Broncos once again had to do the same thing thanks to the CEO of Sack Nation getting home with the help of George Karlaftis, making yet another play in a crucial situation. That gave the ball back to Mahomes and company with 15 seconds left in the half, and they were somehow able to get up the field far enough to try a 60-yard field goal that had a make probability of just 18% according to Next Gen Stats, but Harrison Butker did not care and banged it right through. Butker said without Tommy Townsend, who was listed as questionable to play, but told Andy Reid, "I'm going," when asked if he could indeed play or not. Butker said without Tommy, he would not have had the success he did with all of those field goals because of the unity he has with Townsend and Winchester, the 1-2-3 combo on these field goals. So that puts the Chiefs up 13-0 at half, and with the Chiefs getting the ball back to start the 3rd quarter, all of Chiefs Kingdom just said, hey, let's just score a touchdown here and make it a 20-point game, call it a day. Well, after a nice play by CEH, Kelce catching his 8th pass of the game, and Sky Moore spinning his way to a first down, the Chiefs then ran one of the dumbest plays I have ever seen on first down. They lined CEH up like a fullback, giving him the ball, and then he poorly pitched it back to Toney, who went behind in motion and turned into a quarterback, throwing a very dangerous pass to McKinnon in double coverage. Please never try that again. Rashee Rice worked his yard after the catch magic, though, to bring KC into the red zone for the 5th time on the day. And I just want to say Rice is the definite bright spot right now in the receiving room. I'm very excited to see him continue to grow and learn all he can from Kelce all along the way and finding soft spots in zone and all that stuff. It's going to be fire in the future for Rice. With that being said, though, the Chiefs once again failed to score a touchdown in the red zone, and Butker instead kicked his 3rd field goal of the night. Jalen Watson then yanked Courtland Sutton's arm for an obvious pass interference, and then just as the Broncos were starting to get a wee bit of momentum on offense with some nice runs and a nice Jerry Jeudy connect to move the chains, Willie Gay Jr. blitzed on the left side here, batting the ball up into the awaiting arms of Justin Reid, forcing Russ to throw his 2nd INT of the night. Sadly, the Chiefs offense couldn't do much with it, even though Mahomes had this incredibly solid 3rd down run, needing 11 and getting 12 or 13. And the reason why this drive stalled is because on this 3rd and 1 play, the coaching staff decided to once again take the ball out of Mahomes' hands as he lined up as a receiver, and Kadarius Toney took the snap with Pacheco to his left and Kelce to his right, and Toney had the option to keep the ball or hand it off, and if he handed it off, it's a first down, but he decided to keep it, and the result was a loss of 2 and another punt for KC as the crowd rained down boos. And I still get confused as to why the coaches want the ball out of Patrick's hands on key plays like that, but what do I really know? I'm just sitting here in my basement making videos. Tommy Townsend has a perfect punt, though, per usual, and this time Russell Wilson was trying to cook with several scrambles until someone unplugged his microwave, and also because Jalen Watson had this incredible pass breakup on 3rd and 10, quite possibly one of the best plays of the night and possibly the season for Jalen Watson. And after Denver punted for the 69th time of the game, Montrell Washington had an incredible return that would have brought them up to around midfield that got called back due to a penalty on the Chiefs. And this is where I have some bad news to share. On this play here, Justin Watson won his route and Mahomes threw a beautiful pass up the right sideline that uncharacteristically bounced right off of Watson's hands. And as he was tackled to the ground, this is where the bad news kicks in because he did not get up for a little while. He was laying on the ground writhing in pain, grabbing at his arm / his elbow, and though he was able to walk off on his own power, Ian Rappaport reported today that Justin Watson, who leads his team with 21.9 yards per catch, suffered a dislocated elbow last night, sources say. X-rays were negative and he's getting an MRI now. He's out a few weeks at least though, and could be longer based on the results of the scans. So that's not good. Andy Reid said after the game that thankfully there's nothing broken in Justin's elbow, and also this was the only injury to report on. So aside from Justin Watson, no other major injuries, which is good news. But regarding Watson, he said, we will see how it goes with him. And with Watson being out for at least a few weeks, this certainly puts extra strain on an already struggling receiving room, still fighting to find their identity after 6 weeks into the season. So the question is, do the Chiefs see this as the typical next man up mentality, giving more opportunities to the young guys like Rashee Rice and hopefully maybe Justin Ross, or do they also consider aggressively pursuing a trade for a wide receiver? Many around the kingdom are pleading for the Chiefs to go and get somebody before the deadline, but the options may be a bit limited based on the fact that the Chiefs don't have much cap room at the moment, so time will certainly tell there. I think if Brett Veach and company want somebody bad enough, they can pull enough levers to make something happen. But either way, it's worth at least making some calls and seeing if anyone bites, I would think. Whether or not a trade happens, though, I want to see more action from Rashee Rice. He's got to get the ball. I mean, if we get back to the game here, shortly after Justin Watson got injured, Rashee Rice almost got a first down on 3rd and 17 via this screenplay, even though he had to field a somewhat off-target pass from Mahomes. This guy's vision and ability to create extra yards after the catch is insane. Please feed him more, I beg of thee. From here, though, we're in the 4th quarter with the Chiefs up 16-0 and the Broncos desperately needing to get points on the board to even attempt to make this a game. And lo and behold, they finally got some momentum going. Wilson made a few nice throws, and on this 3rd and 5, he also got a bit of help from the Zebras on a roughing the passer flag called on Mike Edwards. I think the flag was thrown because he appeared to put his body weight into the hit on Wilson as he went to the ground, but sometimes I'm not really sure what defenders are supposed to do as they make what appears to be a clean, routine tackle. Oh well, the refs, I guess, weren't on the Chiefs' side this time, which is wild considering they normally help the Chiefs win every game according to the mentally malnourished. Anyway, after that penalty, Russell Wilson put a ball up to Courtland Sutton, and this man made an absolutely incredible one-handed catch that was a confirmed touchdown after review. The Broncos also converted the 2-point conversion to make this a 1-score game. On the next drive, Mahomes connected with Rashee Rice for this very nice 28-yard catch and run, which again shows why he needs to be out there getting targeted. Then, just prior to the 2-minute warning on 3rd and 10, the Broncos blitzed and Jawan Taylor appears to have let the wrong guy through, resulting in a free runner that sacked Mahomes instantly for an 11-yard loss, which then forced Butker to attempt a 52-yard field goal to make this an 11-point game. And thankfully, that is exactly what he did, going 4 for 4 on the night and still perfect on the season. The Broncos then had basically one more shot to get something going, and immediately after this great pass breakup by Mike Edwards, Trent McDuffie had this incredible hit on Pirine that actually caused him to stumble backwards and knee the ball out of his own hands. And the result was a fumble recovered by Kansas City, and game over. The Broncos lose 16 in a row to Kansas City. And I believe that's the 3rd fumble forced by McDuffie on the season as he continues to shine bright on a defense that is playing out of their minds. And that's probably the biggest takeaway from this game to me. The defense continues to prove they are the real deal, only allowing 8 points and less than 200 total yards to a Denver offense that was playing pretty decent coming into this game. On top of that, they sacked Russell Wilson 4 times, picked him off twice, and that forced fumble made for 3 turnovers on the night. I mean, look at the Broncos' drives in this game. Turnover on downs, interception, punt, 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 interception, punt, touchdown, fumble. The defense had themselves a day and are quite possibly a top 3 unit in the entire league, if not closing in on top 3. It was also great seeing Bolton back, who had one of the INTs and said after the game that his ankle is feeling good now and he's back to 100%, though there was a point in the game where he was slow to get up and was moving around a bit carefully, so I guess we shall see when the injury report pops up next week. Nonetheless, the game ball definitely goes to pretty much the entire defense, though I guess if I had to pick somebody, I could give the ball to Justin Reid, who had a sack sack that forced a turnover on downs, as well as that clutch interception. But man, George Karlaftis had some clutch batted down passes. Chris Jones had a batted down pass as well as a sack. And on top of all that, Charles Omenihu is going to return for Week 7's matchup against the Chargers, which means the defense is only going to get better. He actually took to Twitter immediately after the game and said, "God did. Keep trusting. My faith hasn't been any stronger. 90 is back." And for that, I'm grateful because, again, they're going to be even more of a problem moving forward with the Omenihu on the line. So while the defense played incredible, as did Harrison Butker, who scored 13 of the Chiefs' 19 points, the offense honestly played pretty well also. I know some of you are surprised to hear that, but hear me out. They racked up nearly 400 yards of offense. Mahomes played a pretty solid game outside of that INT, going 30 of 40 for 306 yards and a touchdown. Pacheco had a great game with 16 carries for 62 yards and 6 catches for 36. Rashee Rice caught 4 passes for 72 yards and shows why he needs to be out there more. And then, of course, Travis Kelce went insane, catching 9 passes for 124 yards after being listed as questionable to play after that ankle injury in Sunday's game. The two biggest issues for the offense in this game, though, was trying to get too cute with trick plays that took the ball out of Mahomes' hands in key situations, as well as their inability to capitalize on their successful drives in the red zone. That's going to be one of the biggest issues, in my opinion. They went 1 for 5 on the night, and one of the worst was that fake field goal on 4th and 2. I mean, if you're going to go for it like that, just keep Mahomes and the playmakers on offense out there. It makes no sense to remove him. Then, of course, there were 3 other times aside from that where the Chiefs were unable to get a touchdown in the red zone, which is so frustrating to many because of how poorly the Broncos defense has been playing, which is why most of Chiefs Kingdom expected the Chiefs to score more than 1 touchdown, that's for sure. Both Mahomes and Andy Reid felt like the offense did some good things out there, but noted that they have to finish drives and be better with getting a TD rather than settling for a field goal. Andy said the positives were that Travis Kelce had over 100 yards, Pat had over 300, Rashee had some really nice plays. He's getting better every week and is explosive after the catch, but that gets overshadowed in a game like this because of their inability to get things done in the red zone. Big Red said, quote, "We strive for something better than we are doing now." Mahomes said, luckily though, the defense is playing so well that they are really helping the offense get through these growing pains. Guys are making plays when it counts on offense, per the words of Mahomes, but they got to continue to get better so they can match the defense as far as intensity goes by the time they reach the playoffs. It's a young receiving room and they are progressing as a unit, but Mahomes noted it's a bit slower than even last year, though he seems confident they can still right the ship. That's where I want to pass the question off to you guys. How concerned are you right now about the Chiefs offense only putting up 19 points against the Broncos? Do you line up with my thinking that the game was basically a blowout if they scored on a couple of those red zone drives and it's just some small issues that need addressed? Or are you in more of a panic and think something drastic needs to happen, like the Chiefs need to trade for a true wide receiver 1? Whichever way you lean, thankfully the Chiefs are currently 5-1. First in the West and the 1 seed of the AFC with a defense that is by far the best of the Mahomes era. So while the offense has taken a couple steps back this year as they continue to work through things, the defense has taken several steps forward to help even things out for the time being. Anyway, definitely let me know your thoughts on all that in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those